Hello everybody. In this video we will be going over an example of retirement and how much to save so that you achieve your retirement goals. So here is our example. So you are 22 years old now and you would like to retire in 40 years at the age of 62, and you think you are in good health and you predict that you will live for another 30 years during your retirement, so meaning you will anticipate to live until the age of 92. So that's another 30 years after retirement. 92 minus 62 is 30. You want to have enough money in your retirement fund so that will allow you to spend about $10,000 monthly during your retirement years when you are not working. So you want to be able to spend about $10,000. So you want pretty much your retirement to be long and prosperous. Well, you might say there's no such thing. Well, there might be, because look at that. You are pretty young. You have still 40 years to retirement. There are a lot of things that can be done, right? So that in order to accomplish your goal, I think there's enough time. So, and there comes our statement. In order to achieve that financial goal, you would like to save at the end of each month, starting with this month. And the question is, how much should you save and deposit in your retirement fund for the next 40 years, each month for the next 40 years to achieve your goal, given that you predict the retirement fund will earn 7% interest compounded monthly. All right, so let's write the given so far. Your age, 22, retirement age, retirement at 62. Those are the givens, right? And what else do we have? And then I don't want to call it death, but maybe we should. Death or expiration. Retirement will expire at 92. Awesome. So far so good. So we know that how much we wanna spend during our retirement years, and we know the interest rate. Let's first write the interest. It's given on an annual basis, and we are told it's 7%. And press enter, and let me actually have some more space in here. There you go. However, we want interest not annual, but we want interest on a monthly basis, because that's how the compounding is, right? So we are told interest is compounded on a monthly basis. Besides, you are withdrawing money during retirement and depositing money during working years on a monthly basis as well. So this is just 7% divided by 12. So what we can, and this is a percentage as well. What we can do is we can take the same approach as we did in the previous videos. And so what I will do is anything which is you are required to have as an input, we can color it, I guess, the same way. So this is an input. So you are supposed to enter numbers here. And this is also an input. There you go. However, this one is a formula. There's a formula underneath that. You don't have to enter a number. In fact, you are not supposed to change that formula. It will mess up your formula. So years in retirement, years working. How many years are we working? It's equal to 62 minus 22. And years in retirement, is simply equal to 92 minus 62, that number over here. So again, there are formulas here. So what I will be doing is I will just go ahead and use the same formatting. There you go. So anything blue there's a formula underneath. Don't enter anything, only play with the yellow ones. All right, and our goal is to withdraw. Let's write. Okay, so let's say goal withdraw 10K monthly, right? 10K monthly. That's it. That's pretty much your goal here, right? So what I will do is we can actually, you know what? We can even do it even better. Withdraw goal withdraw monthly, and we can write the amount right next to it. 10,000, 1, 2, 3, but this is a dollar amount, right? So we want to make it as a dollar. There you go. Yeah, so maybe I can even do that. Perfect. So let's just now go ahead and start thinking about how we can approach this problem in order to solve our problem. So the question is, how much should we save on a monthly basis, right? So savings during working years. Work years. So that's what the question is. Interestingly, you can spend during retirement if you save during working years. You will work for 40 years. You will be depositing some amount so that during your retirement for 30 years you will be withdrawing those amounts. So what we will be doing is, I think the best approach would be to take a two-step approach. Step one. In step one, first let's figure out how much money do we need to have in our retirement fund. How much money should be should accumulate in a retirement fund, right? So first we need to fund when I am 62, when I'm in retirement age, right? When I am in retirement age, question mark. Well, for that one we will use pretty much the same ideas we did previously. So we have number of periods, we have rate, we have interest rate, we already have that, present value I should say, then we have payments, and finally the future value. So this will be the first step calculation. Then we will talk about in the second step how much we should save. But first I want to answer this sub problem. It seems this problem is in the question, but it's not the final answer. It's just an intermediate step that we need to take care of. So the number of periods will be equal to well, it is this many whatever is the number of retirement years, right? I want to multiply it by 12 because I want it monthly. So for 360 months, I want to spend $10,000 during those years. And let me just go ahead and use the same formatting here as well. That's a number that we need to enter. So what is the interest rate that I can earn on a monthly basis? It's this number. Press enter. The present value, how much, and that's exactly where the question mark is. I'll just leave it. So how much should we have on our retirement account so that we can spend $10,000 and no money will be left over when you die at 92. That's it. Your retirement fund will be good for 30 years after you retire, and that's it. Next is to compute this number, but the computation is very easy. So you say compute PV, and let's just do it. So you can just either open a dialog box from the let's just open the dialog box. I guess it's the easier one. Before I do that, let me just go ahead and also mark this table. So let's use the green color as usual, and we want to calculate the final answer over here. Over right here, I will be entering the final answer, right? So there you go. In fact, I can just change its color to, yeah, why not? This color over here. All right, so this is the cell where I will enter the number. So we will not insert, sorry for that. We will write the formula, financial. We scroll all the way down until we find the present value. A little bit more, there you go, present value. The dialog box opens as usual, and we need to enter the following numbers into this dialog box. Rate first, rate is this. Number of periods is this many. The payments is I want to spend $10,000 each month. The future value, the funds will be depleted. That's pretty much it. I don't have to write anything under type and press OK. That's it. If I want to achieve that goal of spending $10,000 for 30 years during retirement, I need to have saved about a little bit more than $1.5 million in my retirement account at the age 62. Unless I see that number on my retirement account, I shouldn't retire, right? I can only retire if I see that number at 62. Awesome. So next step, step 2, is now the actual addressing the actual question. So how much should I save monthly then during working years then, right? During, oops, that's not how we spell during working years then. That's it. And we will just basically reproduce the same table. Let me just Control C. I don't want to redraw this, but I will just delete the numbers. The same thing here, Control C, enter, and finally this number, Control C, enter. I don't want to use that number. Awesome. And we don't know where the question mark is. All right, so what will happen is now this is working years. Number of periods is 40 years of working years times 12. The rate will be the same throughout my working and retirement years. Whatever amount is in my retirement fund, it will keep growing at that rate on a monthly basis. The present value now is 0. I don't deposit anything. I didn't deposit anything to begin with into my retirement fund. All I'm doing is starting from this month, at the end of each month, I will I make this what do you call resolution that I will. It's like one of those New Year's resolutions. I will read one book each month. I will do this each month and so on, each week and things of that nature. So how much should I save? That's where the question mark, monthly, so that in the future I will end up with this much money. Does that make sense? Equal to minus, so I want to write it as a positive number. There you go. I want to have accumulated this much money on my retirement fund by the end of my 40 years of career. And that's it. So the question mark is really at the payment now. Okay, I open the dialog box, formulas, financial. We want to find the payment. There you go. So the rate, the rate is the same. The number of periods is now even more, 40 years. The present value is nothing. The future value is $1.5 million. That's my goal. And then I press OK. And boom. Wow. So check this out. So at first we thought that it's impossible. There's no way that I can spend during retirement for 30 years $10,000 a month. Money coming to me directly from my retirement fund. You will still get your Social Security and other benefits, or if you have a house, that's perfectly fine. This is on top of that. By just saving $572.64 each month for 40 years with a 7% return on your investment, which is, I think, a very moderate return. It's a realistic return. You will have accumulated $1.5 million in your retirement account, for which you can use it for the following 30 years to withdraw $10,000 each month. It's fantastic. Now, one thing we can do, and it is really great, is, well, because the whole thing I kept using cell references to each other. By just changing one of the assumptions, one of these yellow things, I can quickly update. It will quickly update through all these calculations, basically. Now what we can do is we can change the scenario hypothetically, and we can see what will be the implications for the bottom line number, which is saving $572.64 on a monthly basis for the next 40 years. What if you don't want to work 40 years and retire 30 years? What if you want to work up to the age 52 for 30 years and retire for 40 years? Check what happens. It seems like the number, like the total savings that you should have by the age of 52 doesn't change that much. This number didn't change as much. But what changed significantly is, look at that. So instead of having to save $572 for the next 30 years, you will have to save about $1,319 for the next 30 years, which is almost 2.5 times, a little bit more than 2.5 times the original savings. So it will be significantly more challenging to set aside $1,319 month after month for the next 30 years. But if you can do that, of course you can retire by 52. Now, setting it back to baseline values, how about, what if we don't earn 7% interest? What if we earn 8% interest? Suddenly the story changes. Look at that. If you can find a way to earn more interest on your investment, you will be making significantly less savings. Like, just save $390 a month will get you to your target, which is so your target is now even smaller, because you will keep earning those interest rates during your retirement years as well. So by just saving a little bit less than $400 a month and working for 40 years, by the age of 62, you can make a significant, you can achieve your goals, basically. And that will conclude our analysis.